Welcome to Envisioned Broadcasting. Envisioned Broadcasting, the station designed to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. An affiliate of Direct Impact Broadcasting and Creative Broadcasting, presenting the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, a show that shares the stories behind the journeys of leaders, influencers, and motivators. The EmPower Hour with Jaresha begins now.
Welcome to EmPower Hour with Jaresha. I am your host, Jaresha Moore. A little bit about myself. I am a best-selling author with over 18 years of combined experience in education, finance, healthcare, business management, and development, owner and founder of EmPower on Purpose, LLC, where we provide leadership training and personal professional coaching and consulting services. Certified coach, speaker, and trainer with the John Maxwell team, and owner of Envision Broadcasting radio station. So I am super excited. I'm still excited, even though, we're into February now. I'm super excited about the new year and it being a new decade. I have already claimed this year as the year for growth and success. And let me tell you guys, this year has not disappointed yet. However, back in, 2019, I was so fortunate to be a part of a book collaboration with some amazing authors. The book is actually called Leadership Tidbits, Powerful Strategies Every Leader Needs to Know in Order to Win, and you can purchase your autographed copy from me today. Leadership Tidbits is a collection of stories of industry trailblazers who share profound leadership tactics that will help you elevate your career and enhance your personal life. In my chapter called Empowering Your Inner Leader, you will learn how to empower yourself as a leader and how to use what I refer to as SOAR Now, which is an acronym that stands for Empower Strength, Create Opportunities, Innovate Aspiration, Achieve Results, Next Move, Ongoing Actions, and Win on Purpose to level up as a leader. You can text EmPower, EmPower, to 474747 to find out more details on how to purchase your autograph copy. I also want to share with you about an upcoming event that is happening every single month this year. It happens the last Sunday of the month, and the next one is actually happening on Sunday, February 23rd. And I will tell you guys that it's happening. So it's Sunday, February 23rd at 6 p.m., and this event is called Empower Your Vision and Goal Board Networking. It's a virtual event, so you can jump on the Zoom chat and meet some like-minded people and talk about your goals and vision for the year. Also get accountability. We are ready to go get on with this event. You don't want to miss your opportunity to connect, collaborate, and level up on your vision and goals. Again, for details, please text EmPower or EmPower to 474747 or visit the EmPower on Purpose Eventbrite page to learn more information on how you can register. So today's empowerment quote is, everything is happening all the time, but if you don't put yourself in the path of it, you miss it, by Gail Foreman. So this is an absolute amazing quote and truly resonates with me. We know that we live in a world that is nonstop, always on the go, go, go. I truly believe and know that as things change, we have to change and grow. To me, this means that as we look at the world around us, there are people who are living their best life, living their dreams, living in their purpose on the other side of fear, and have what they want in life. Do you think they just sat back and kept saying, I want this and I want, kick their feet up and said, I'm going to sit right here and wait for it to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you no. We know those people, when they want something, you have to get up and go out and get it. So if you want to live your best life and you want to say, okay, I'm going to put myself in the path of it. I'm going to set myself up for success by taking action steps to make it happen. So let me ask you this. Do you want to be that person that says, I was sitting right here and watched the growth and success train go right by me because I was waiting for someone to tell me, show me what I needed to do to get on it? and I didn't purchase my ticket because of fear. I didn't know what to do or how to do it, so I did nothing. So I missed the train. Or do you want to be that person that says, I am prepared, I am ready, I have my ticket in hand and ready to board the train to your destination of success? I am sure that all of us want to be that one that says, yes, I'm ready. Because here's the thing, that growth and success train is always moving, but we have to be prepared and ready to move or you will miss it. I challenge each of you today to take a look at your life right now. What are you doing? What are you not putting yourself in the path of? What is stopping you from being, doing, and having what you want in life? And ultimately, what is stopping you from missing your opportunity? I believe that we all know what is holding us back. Take whatever is holding you back and break it down and figure out the what, why, and how, and begin to take actionable steps to remove those barriers so that you don't miss your train and opportunity for growth and success. So I am so excited to share that my guest this evening is Anna Felix. Anna Felix is so excited to help others avoid the pitfalls she experienced as a widow trying to figure out how to get her financial house in order. There is never any judgment. She makes everything easy to understand and offers options and services that are very unique. Anna Felix's motto is plan today and protect tomorrow. Anna's passion is empowering women in their finances. Because of her life experiences, she wants to make sure that families are protected and ready for any of life's obstacles. Entrepreneurs and professionals need access to the revolutionary strategies that she offers. Anna provides a roadmap to the best financial scenario possible. Here are a few things that she can help you with. Life insurance that you don't have to die to use. Tax-free retirement. Investments with zero risk. Private reserve account. The ability to be your own bank. Annuities. Land banking. Land is the oldest form of investment, and there is a limited supply, and it helps you buy land before it's needed in the path of projected growth. You hold it for 7 to 10 years, and when you sell it, because the land is now in demand, you get top dollars. You can participate for as little as $40,000 and use existing investments such as a 401k. Anna says and knows there are so many exciting ways to improve your financial future. Hello, welcome, Anna Felix. I'm so excited to have you. Yes, I'm so excited to have you on the show this evening. How are you this evening?
I am great. I'm great. Thank you so much, Jaresha, for giving me this opportunity. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. So I just shared some of, a little bit of your bio. Could you just give us a little bit more, share a little bit more with the listeners about yourself and your background that maybe I didn't mention in your bio?
Yeah. So all the stuff that's not about financial stuff, maybe the more fun stuff. So I live in a medium-sized town in Central California. It's a big agricultural area, so we have lots of dairies, almond trees, and farms. I actually started out my career in education, and then when I got married, my husband and I started our own business. And this actually afforded us the ability to create a life around our work. So we would go to the beach during the week when everyone else was working. My daughter still talks about those days when it was so fun to be able to do that, and really appreciated the benefits of entrepreneurship. And it was truly a blessing for our family. Later on, we had several family members get sick, and it was really nice to have that time freedom to be able to still have the business, but be able to take care of those things. And just on kind of another tangent of things that I've done, I do speak several languages, so I speak Portuguese and Spanish.
Oh,
and for 5 years, and for 5 years I worked as an entrepreneur. As an interpreter. And I worked in courts, hospitals, different companies, helping people and being a conduit many times during very important and sometimes life-changing conversations. One time, even during a brain surgery, that was a crazy thing.
Wow.
But it was very, kind of different. But it was, it's very gratifying work. And sometimes today I still get called to help with special projects and assignments. A few months ago, I was invited to interpret for a Brazilian delegation of food companies that were visiting Facebook. And so that was kind of a fun and different thing. Language is something that's always evolving, so it's important to occasionally put that hat on again. But, yeah, just some other random things about me.
Absolutely. Well, that's exciting and very, very interesting. Absolutely. How much fun was that? Oh, my gosh. So let's dive right into, some of your story, of course. You shared that you have not really, you haven't had it easy, from, being a widow, and you had some pitfalls along the way, and you found yourself struggling. Can you tell us just a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so actually those are kind of the things that resulted in me becoming interested in serving my community as a smart money strategist. But what happened in essence was in 2005, my husband, daughter, and I were involved in a serious car accident, and that resulted in brain injuries for my husband and daughter. And we were very fortunate that my daughter made a full recovery. But 5 years after the accident, in December of 2010, my husband passed away. And it was then that I realized that, we were always a team. We played to our strengths. And he was really the one that, had primarily taken care of the finances. And now here I was, the one responsible because of all the health issues and health expenses that we'd had. We sold our business in 2006. And after his death, I had to leave the home that we had in the country and essentially start over at 42. And so, it's that realization, what am I going to do? And I felt like there were a lot of financial things that I didn't understand. And I didn't have the time or the luxury to go do the research then. I needed guidance yesterday, right? And so it was like, I need to find someone that will help me with this. And so, I did go looking for that. And I found judgment. I found people that wanted to sell me things, but weren't really open to wanting to explain it to me and make me not feel inferior or stupid for not understanding all the things that they were saying. And so it planted a seed in me that maybe I should become that person that I was looking for. And that's really where my journey began in this industry, was realizing that there was a need for this out there. And I thought that somehow, somewhere, I could provide that.
Absolutely. So first, let me say I'm, definitely sorry about your loss. But I think that it's amazing how you were able, to recognize that, yes, you experienced that loss, and then, having to reach out and, really find answers for yourself because of the situation you were put in, and then not to stop from there, right there, but then to say, okay, I know there's so many people that are in this current situation, and how can I really help empower them, with their own finances and all of that. I think that's truly amazing. And so you actually said that your motto is plan today and protect tomorrow. Tell us a little bit more about what that truly means.
Well, just again, everything that I've been through leads me to the understanding that really the only thing that we have for sure is today. Yesterday passed, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so we really need to grab a hold of what we can do today. And many of us procrastinate. We've all been there. We did too. There were a lot of things that we could have planned and had in place before all of these things happened. But we procrastinate. We put things off in planning for our future. So we need to really take assessment of, do we have the proper coverages? I ask those of you that are listening, if you and your family were in the accident like we had in 2005, would you be able to survive if you could no longer do what you're currently doing for a living, if in that 10 seconds your life changed? What if you died suddenly? Would your family be able to continue living their current lifestyle? And if not, then we need to plan things as if those things could happen next week, because the reality is they could. I hope that they won't. And most of the time when we put things in place and we are prepared, those very things that we fear don't happen. And I think that might be some of the things that keep people from planning. It's like, I don't want to think about that. I don't want to. And I get it. Nobody does. But if we plan as if those things were truly going to happen next week, because they could, and we do our due diligence, then we protect our tomorrow. We protect the tomorrow of ourselves and of our family and of our community and those that want to help us, because so often today we see people creating GoFundMe funds and those types of things, community car washes, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's beautiful to see people come together in these times of need, and they're really wanting to help someone that's going through a difficult thing. But those don't have to be the scenarios. Those don't have to be the realities. If we each take the time to do that for our family and really show that we love them enough to plan for that.
Absolutely. And I can't agree with you more, because as you mentioned, I can't tell you how many, how many times I've seen, even through some of the Facebook news feeds, of GoFundMes that's been set up because of, a loved one, passing away, and then everyone's trying to figure out how we're going to pay for, services and, all of that. Yeah. And that's why it's so important. Oh, my goodness. It's so important for, people to have that plan, that financial plan for, so, and I, like you said, a lot of people don't want to think about, I don't want to think about when I pass away. But if you love your family, you truly need to think about all of those steps, because you don't want to leave that huge burden on your family. And that all starts, of course, with that financial planning piece. Because at the end of the day, like you said, a lot of those GoFundMes and, raising money and all of that for those expenses, they're, reactive because of that person did not have anything in place. And so it's so important. I think it's even more important for, the education, for people to recognize that you need to have life insurance. You need to have a financial plan. You need to have all of those pieces in place, not just for you, but your family, your kids, your husband, your wife. You need to have all of that in place. For heaven forbid something happened, but at least you do have a plan in place. And as you like to call it, you mentioned that you provide a roadmap to assist families with that financial planning. Can you kind of go into a little bit more detail as far as the roadmap that you do provide to help with families in financial planning?
Yeah, so, essentially I say, just kind of going with that whole metaphor of roadmap, I want to be my client's financial GPS. So they need to fully understand where it is that they're headed, what vehicle they're using, and why they're using it. And if things happen, like they did to me and my family, what is the best course correction? Just like you have that GPS on and it says, accident ahead, turn right and go around. Well, those are the type of things that we need to be able to have someone that can guide us through those things in the financial way. And, life always brings changes. There's death, there's divorce, there's children, there's inheritance, there's all kinds of things that can happen. And so when these things happen, I want to be able to be there, stay with my clients throughout their journey, so that when these things happen, we can make the course corrections if we need to, realize, okay, we're still good, just, we don't need to make any changes, but it's good to know that, something could come up on the horizon because of this change. That's why I always am really adamant about doing yearly reviews with my clients, because it's easy to let things go away or things change and we forget to notate them. And things as simple as, we put some life insurance in place and one of your beneficiaries dies, something as simple as that, it can create a real problem later on. So we need to make those changes. And so it's nice to know that you have someone that's going to be there with you as these things happen to help guide and direct, what's the best way to handle them.
Absolutely. I think that is so important. And I love the fact that, you're all about, and your passion is truly about empowering women in their finances. So, when you think about, there's a lot of different single moms, and me being a single mom, myself, what are some ways that you, go about, doing that? How do you empower women, in their finances?
Yeah, so there's so many ways, and I'm really big about creating relationships and just getting to know that person and finding out what the need is. Where are they today? What's going on today? What is it? Where is it that they want to be? And so that starts off with things as simple as what are they doing? Are they an entrepreneur with a company? How old are they? Are they just getting started, or are they retiring in 10 years or in 5 years? So the degree, the things that we need to do and how quickly we need to do them really depends on, where things are at for them. Sometimes we start with just creating a budget. Many times, we live in a world where money never really passes our hands. It's just a swipe of a card, and sometimes we need to get a hold of, what am I really spending? What's really coming in? So sometimes we have to start there. It just really depends. And then, of course, like we've already talked about, what kind of life insurance? If you're a single mom, you need to make sure that you are leaving enough for if something were to happen to you. Who is going to take care of your child if something happens to you? Those are all things that are really super important. I work very closely with a estate planning attorney, and, we talk about those things. Those things need to be stipulated. Those things need to be decided now so that, again, someone else isn't making that, or the state that you live in isn't given the opportunity to make that decision. Wouldn't that be horrible? Does the person have life insurance, living benefits? Is there long-term care in place? And what is going on with retirement? I help them create the roadmap for where they want to be later on in their life. When do they want to retire? I have some clients that say, I want to retire at 55. I want to be done by then. Okay, well, what is it that we need to put aside now for you to be able to do that? So we need to sit down and do the math of that. If they are already saving for retirement, what is their retirement going to look like? Is it, 80% of what they're making now? Is it 70%? Is it 60%? Sometimes when we figure out what that is, it's like, oh man, I didn't realize. Okay, well, I need to shore up. I need to be putting more away. So it's, finding that out. Sometimes it's, making that call to the plan. What is my actual balance? Many people don't even know. So it can even start just as simply as that. Others have already been working with a financial planner for a while, but then they discover that everything that they've been growing for their future, for their retirement, has been in things that are tax deferred, like a 401k. So when they look at their income after paying all those taxes, it's not going to be enough. So what is it that they need to do to be able to shore that up? So those are all the types of things that we look at, figure out where we are, where we need to be, and then how we can get there.
Absolutely. And I just definitely want to add something, because I think that, when you're young and just now getting into the work, the workforce, you are not realizing or thinking about the fact that, I need to be, really looking at my future and, really focused on retirement when you're, just starting out working. But I think it's so important for, those millennials that are just now starting, to really get educated and get that financial advisor, that, that planner that's going to help them as well, not just for those that have been working for years and, looking to retire, but it's so important to start at, a young age to make sure you are educating yourself and know your options and what's available. And then oftentimes, we are definitely, when it comes down to the whole financial world and investments and all that, we it's like one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. And so, but that's why, you're out there so you can help those people that don't know what you don't know. To me, that's not an excuse to not do something. Absolutely. Yes.
It just makes it easier not to do it, though.
Yes, until until something happens, and then it's like, okay, either you become reactive, or then your family has to, react to whatever, the circumstance, or, heaven forbid, it's some kind of tragedy that happens, that they have to then figure out what they have to do. But yeah, so let's kind of switch gears just a little bit to talking more about investing. So many people like making money, but when it comes to investing the money and, the big words that come along with it, people often feel overwhelmed. Tell me how people can feel a little bit more at ease when planning for their future, especially when it comes to investments.
So I think it's just really about education. I'm huge with, as I've been, I think that's the theme that's been coming up throughout our conversation is that we just need to be empowered with understanding. It's not that anyone has to have a bunch of special education to understand it. It's just a matter of someone explaining it in layman's terms, no different than, you go to the doctor and they say, you have blah, 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 and you're like, what the heck is that? Like, don't give me fancy words, just what is that? So it just comes from a place of explaining and helping the client to look at their options. I think that everything that we do, I mean, if we're going to go shopping, if we're buying a car, whatever we're doing, we're looking at the options and if I do this, this will be the result. If I choose this, this will be the result. And it shouldn't be any different with your finances. In fact, even more so, you should be able to have options. So I'm really big on once we've decided, what's going to be the best thing for the client, what they can do, then look at those options and say, okay, this is what's most important to me. Is it growth? Is it living benefits? Is it, what is it that I ultimately want? And then what are my options to help me get there? And then being able to do that. And something else that I learned with mentors in my company is that it's so important to have the client explain at the end of what we've put in place for them, explain to me why we're doing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And what that does is it really helps them internalize it, and it really feels like their plan. I can't tell you how many times I meet with clients now, and we talk about what they have in place, and they say, I don't know, I think I have this, I think I have that. It's very few people that know spot on exactly what they have. Well, I need to call, or I need to, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I think it's just the process that we've been put through traditionally is kind of broken in that you have someone kind of basically telling you, this is what you need to do, this is what there was a study recently done that says that, if you work in a company and you're participating in a 401k plan, that traditionally you spend 7 minutes with that administrator making choices for your retirement. And, that's just not enough time. You come in and obviously just because of the situation, they're pulling you out of work. They don't want you being there a long time. And so, they pull you in. Okay, what are you doing? This is traditionally what people do. Boom, boom, boom. You sign it, you move on, and that's what you've done. And so when I come along and say, okay, so what do you have in place? The person's like, I don't really know. And so I think that is what makes the whole process so much better is they know. They internalize it. We've talked about it. They've chosen it. They know why they've made those choices. And so now it's not something they're afraid of. It's something that they're proud of. They're like, I did this. This is where I'm going to be in retirement, or this is my plan. And they just really own it. And then they're really excited, to share it with others that, hey, I got this. I did this. And they're really proud of what we've accomplished together.
Absolutely, because then they have an understanding. And I definitely feel like when it comes down to, the financial world and, retirement, investments, and 401k, and all of that, just like you said, you don't know what you don't know. And it's one of those things that, when it comes down to understanding, I think that, we have gotten so used to a point where, we don't have to have that understanding because someone else does. And then when it comes down to it, it's like, I have no idea. I don't know. But, I love the fact that you're empowering, people to understand exactly what's in your, what your financial plan looks like. And, because at the end of the day, it's, as you mentioned, it's all about educating, those people and so they can feel confident in, their financial plan and know what all the pieces are that's in that plan, what it looks like, what's happening. And then, they can share with others. And, it just makes you so happy because, whether it's your budget, that you have a plan in place and you can understand it. Your family is going to be taken care of and all of that. So I think that's so awesome. And it's a huge need in all of the communities when it comes down to that. Just being educated about, what is the, what does their 401k look like? what are they contributing to that? And so there's so many different pieces that, I just, for the listeners, you have to know what all those pieces are, so that you can put yourself in a good financial state as well as your family. So that's absolutely hands down, just absolutely great. So then let's switch gears a little bit more and talk about more so the business side of things, for you. So what would you say would have been your biggest accomplishment up to this point?
So, I would just say it's that I'm still here. I didn't give up.
Absolutely.
Everyone will tell you that I'm here.
Yes.
I'm hanging in there. Because everyone will tell you that financial services, it is a no-joke industry. It can really easily chew you up and spit you out, and it's not for the faint of heart. But if you stick and stay, there are many rewards. And so I'm super grateful that, I was able to find a company and mentors that really helped me, and I stuck in there, because the first couple of years, can really be difficult.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you that I have definitely, have some associates that are or was a part of the financial, world or organization. And it can be, challenging and all of that. And I've heard some of the comments and all of that from, some of the work that they were doing. So I absolutely think that's awesome. So on the, flip side of that, what would you say has been, I guess the biggest challenge that you faced, so far?
Well, it's funny because there's always a lot of external things that we can point to that create challenges, things that we have no control over. There was one time in my journey that I had a company that I had been with for a very short period of time hold my license for 6 months, so I couldn't even practice in the state of California. And so, those are all challenges, but I really want to take ownership of the fact that in many ways I was my own worst enemy, and it's that thing between my ears, my brain, overthinking things, stressing, being afraid of not knowing enough, et cetera, et cetera. All of those things that probably held me back just as much as some of those external challenges that I didn't have control over. But at the same time, upon realizing that, it's been my greatest help in just moving forward boldly and confidently, and knowing that this is what I need to be doing, and that there are so many people that I can help. And so it's been a great learning experience.
Absolutely. Isn't it something, sometimes we just have to get outside of our, our own way and not let those, those limiting beliefs and, that negative self-talk stop us from, being what, doing and having what we truly want, in life and really living in our purpose. And, I definitely think as entrepreneurs that happens, it happens probably more often than not, when it comes down to things and, really wanting, to grow your business and brand and all of that good stuff. And, I definitely think that we just have to be willing to say, okay, I'm not going to listen to that and, and just keep pushing forward and keep moving, and growing. And of course, there's those challenges that come up and those obstacles and barriers that we face, but, we just have to keep pushing forward through them. And I like to say, even if we fail forward and, keep going. So what is the one thing that you wish you would have known when you started your business?
I wish someone had just told me that I didn't have to get everything right from the get-go. I was just so afraid of failure, and in some ways I let it paralyze me when I should have just been more bold and just proud that I was moving forward. I was learning from the mistakes that I made, because no one walks through this, without making mistakes and without failures. And it is something that I always appreciate when, super ultra successful people share that they had so many failures, and that many times they are where they are today because of them. They've reached the highs that they've reached because of that. And too often I feel like when you're getting started, especially when you're getting started, you're looking at the people that have already supposedly arrived, and you're looking at the result that they have, and you forget that, each of those people have been on a journey that you're not seeing. You didn't see the good, bad, and the ugly as they were getting there, and you're just looking now. Today it looks all pretty and in a nice package. So it's an important thing to always remember that everyone has been on a journey, whether you can't see that necessarily.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you 100%. My goodness, yes. I can just think back to some of my own, experiences. And I know you mentioned how, you had to stop being an overthinker. And I feel like I've always been an overthinker when it comes down to things, and especially with business. And, you feel like, you have to be perfect and everything has to be just great before you even move forward. And that's not the case. I had several mentors and coaches tell me, you have to, it's never going to be perfect, because, each time you're going to start all over and everything else, and then you'll never move. You'll never take any kind of action. And so, yes, nothing's going to be perfect. We have to stop looking at other people and, where they're at in their success, and realize that, everyone starts somewhere, and it is a journey that we're going to be on. Yes, we're going to fail our way through it, but you keep going, and realize that we're going to have those struggles. We're definitely going to have those struggles, and no matter what kind of business there's out there that people are starting, you're going to have struggles, and especially in the beginning. And it's often those struggles where people are ready to just throw in the towel and say, "Oh my gosh, this is never going to take off. This is never going to be at the level that I want it to be." But you have to continue pushing forward and not allow that to get you down, because, at the end of the day, comparing yourself to other people and their success is never going to, keep you moving forward. You have to just continue to move forward and never lose sight of your mission and the reason why you're actually doing that. So what would you say are some techniques that you do on a maybe monthly or even a yearly basis that help you with, your own financial planning?
So, it's important to always have clearly defined goals when it comes to finances. So on a monthly basis, I look to take stock of, how close did I stuck to my plan, my spending plan, my savings plan. I'm still working my way out of recovering from all that happened, and so working on paying off my debt just like everyone else. I think my clients love that too, because I'm on the same plan that they are. Together we're getting this done. And so, looking at that on a monthly basis, seeing if anything has changed. And I really like to do it on a monthly basis, because if I'm having trouble sticking to the plan that I've established, it's going to be easier for me to detect that, month to month, rather than letting more time pass. And if I notice issues, then I work to identify what it is. What caused the derailment this month? Was it something that I actually had control over, or was it something that I didn't have control over? And then the thing I always teach my clients too is that, tomorrow's a new day, or the next month is a new month. So if there was some derailments, if there were some things we kind of got off track, then I just establish it's a new starting point. I get a do-over, back on track, and we're moving forward again. So not attaching emotions to it and, oh my God, I shouldn't have done that, and feeling guilty about that, and just, okay, back on track. This is what it was. And now, now we'll do better next month. And I think that, again, it just makes it much easier that way.
Absolutely. And I love how you say that, you're on a plan as well. And so, any of your clients are looking at that and saying, you know what, she's actually on this plan, and she can identify with where I'm at right now, or maybe, at least at what some part in their journey, you may be able to say, oh yeah, I can identify with that, because that was my situation, or that was my circumstances. Look how far I've gotten. And so I definitely think that is so important, when it comes down to those things. So I know you've heard me say that this is the year for growth and success. So, kind of sticking along the lines of, talking about our goals and all that for the year, what would you say is your biggest goal for this year?
So, I have several goals, one for each area of my life. But as it pertains to my business, I have the goal of helping 100 women this year with their financial plan. A little over 8 a month. And it's kind of interesting because when you work with women, and this doesn't mean that I don't work with men as well, certainly do, but it is just one of my niches that I really focus on. When you help a woman, then you end up helping her family and her friends and her colleagues and those that she knows in her community. So it really ends up casting a wide net, because women, when they get something that they feel comfortable with, that they've enjoyed, that they're excited about, they share it with everyone. And so it's great, because then I'm able to help, other members of their family and community, and it's just a great thing. So that's my goal.
Absolutely. Awesome. I love to hear the goals. So absolutely awesome. So I shared today the empowerment quote was, everything is happening all the time, but if you don't put yourself in the path of it, you miss it, by Gail Foreman. Could you share what this quote means to you?
Yeah, so I have to say that I agree very much with what you had said. For me, it means that, you have to be in motion. You have to be actively looking for opportunities and ways to impact others, constantly connecting with them and creating relationships. Occasionally things fall in our lap, but expecting that to happen while you're at home, watching TV is truly not realistic, as you clearly, outlined earlier. So Gail is saying that, if that's your plan, then you're going to miss out on what's happening all around you. So you need to get out there and be in the middle of it so that you can partake.
Absolutely. I love it. I am huge on quotes, so I absolutely love, love hearing, your take on, the quote. So what would you say is the best advice that you've ever received? And please share who gave it to you.
So I've really been fortunate to have many mentors and wise people in my circle of influence. So I've received a lot of good advice over the year. But as a Bible reader, I do receive a lot of inspiration from the scriptures. And I feel like Galatians 6:9 has a great message. It says, "Let us not give up doing what is fine, for in due time we will reap if we do not tire out." And so that tells me that if my work is good, if I'm helping others, if I'm enriching their lives, if I'm bringing value to them, then I need to keep doing it. And there's going to be days when it's going to be tough, and there's going to be days when you have to reevaluate, okay, why am I doing this again? This is stressful, or this is scary. But there is a reward, and that's only attainable if I don't give up. And so tomorrow is a new day, and we got to keep going.
Yes, I love that. That's awesome. So what is one piece of advice that you would give our listeners on how they can empower their own growth and success journey?
So I would say it would be to always be open to learning. Don't think that you know everything. No matter how smart you are or how smart you think you are, you're not. Be humble and willing to learn from others. And I really focus on, I want to try to always learn a new thing every day. And so I'm always listening to what entrepreneurs and professionals, colleagues, friends, and family members are saying. And I pick out the things that resonate with me, and I try to internalize it so that I can remember it and share it with others. There's just always new things to be learning and new ways to do it, or ways that you didn't think about. And sometimes it's like, well, how could I not have thought of that? Well, that comes from being open to learning a different way to do it. And I feel like if you're always surrounding yourself with those that are more successful than you, then there's always going to be new material. So always be a student, read at least one page a day, and it will make a big difference in your success journey.
Absolutely. That is great advice for our listeners. So please take the time to share with the listeners what's coming up on the horizon for you. So any big plans that you have in the near future for your business?
Well, within our company, CalChoice Financial, we have a women's empowerment team. And I'm super excited to announce that we've just launched the Women's Wealth Club. We actually have a website. It's womenswealthclub.net. And it's a group of women collaborating, learning, and supporting one another. We're building a community of women who strive to learn more about money and growth. And our goal is to help women to collaborate, inspire, and encourage one another to be amazing and successful in their businesses and their lives. And so all across the nation, members of our team are creating a space where women can gather, either in the morning with some coffee and bagels or in the evening with some wine and snacks, and receive information that's going to empower them to feel comfortable with their money story and help them create a financial future that makes them feel safe. And as we grow, the locations will be posted on that website, so stay tuned. We already have 3 locations in Arizona that are posted on that website right now, 1 in Georgia, 1 in Tennessee, 2 in California, 1 in Sacramento, and 1 in my area near Modesto.
Oh, that's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. You know, I get really excited about any kind of empowerment, you know, especially anything that's geared towards women and helping, you know, to really educate and empower, you know, all the women out there with their finances. And so I would definitely love to, you know if there's ever a chapter in Ohio. So, yes please.
I know one day there will be. You don't know when yet, but definitely let you know.
Absolutely. Yes, because it's growing. You know, I was trying to keep up. So you said a couple in Georgia, was it? In Arizona, and then was there another location?
Tennessee. And there's 2 in California. So 1 in my area that is a chapter that I've obviously started here. But yeah, and we're just a small team here within CalChoice, but we're nationwide. So there will definitely be 1 in Ohio. I know there will be. And yeah, so it's just awesome to be able to bring this into, communities, smaller communities, and take our message and what we do for people, financially and make it attainable for everyone.
Absolutely, because I definitely think it's a huge need in all the communities. So it's amazing to hear that, that organizations and, that community organization is coming, to serve the women in those different areas. So that's absolutely amazing. So I definitely want to just, take this time to say thank you so much for sharing your amazing journey and story. Please, I know you mentioned the womenswealthclub.net. But if you can take some time now to share with the listeners on how they can stay connected with you and support your efforts.
Yeah, absolutely. So just, your usual social media outlets. I'm on Facebook, A. Felix Smart Money. And then same thing on Instagram, A. Felix Smart Money. So you can message me, connect with me there. I also connect with a lot of professionals and entrepreneurs on LinkedIn. So it's Anna Felix, ANNA Felix, CalChoice, there on LinkedIn, and certainly reach out. Love to connect with people, and super excited to bring our unique strategies to everyone that wants to look at them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again. It has truly been an honor and a pleasure to have you on the guest. Have you as a show. Have you on the show. Have you as a guest on the show today. Like, I can't even talk. Again, I thank you so much. You shared some amazing information and tips, with the guests. And, I just definitely wanted to say again, I thank you for, giving me the opportunity to interview you on the show this evening. And I wish you so much success and blessings as you continue on your journey.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much again. It's been truly a pleasure to be here, and I look forward to further conversations.
Absolutely. So, listeners, thank you so much for tuning into tonight's show with our special guest, Anna Felix. Anna shared her amazing story and journey to encourage, equip, and empower you for growth and success. And she also shared how important it is to always be open to learning. Don't think you know everything. Be humble and willing to learn from others, and also learn something new every day. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, starting your own radio show or low-cost advertising highlighting your book, business, or events, please email envisionb at EmPowerOnPurpose.com. Please tune in next week where you will hear an amazing story and journey from another leader, influencer, and motivator. Until next time, be blessed.
Thank you for listening to the EmPower Hour with Jaresha, where Jaresha speaks with leaders, influencers, and motivators who share their journeys in personal and professional growth, empowerment tips, lessons learned, and keys of success that will empower you to be your best self. Follow Jaresha on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Jaresha Moore, and visit EmPowerOnPurpose.com. And remember to be intentional and be empowered, and have a great day on purpose.